No, you don't need the.
I'm doing this my way. He a legend, he a legend, he a legend. He a legend, he a legend, he a legend. He a legend. Welcome to the league, to the league, to the league, to the league, to the league. Welcome to the league, to the league, to the league, to the league, to the league.
Welcome back to Summoner's Rift. Lucky for you, we have a special treat today in the LPL. The worst teams in the league facing off in the toilet bowl. Dominus and Victory 5 are thought to be the two worst teams in the LPL, but somebody has to win. After V5 and DMO spend the first 4 minutes of the game tying their shoes, Graves heads up top lane and unironically gets put in the dirt for first blood. Bilibili, Way, and Mole all get kill credit, but don't be mistaken, Graves dug his own grave. Meanwhile, in the bot lane, PP God drops Trow and says, "Look at me now!" Out-hooking Nautilus as Aphelios runs away in fear of the one-eyed monster PP God. V5 and PP God are feeling themselves in the enemy jungle, starting another fight by engaging on the Nature Boy Natural. Mole tells Natural to cover up and trades another kill before dying. V5 is up 7-2 early. After doubling their kill total, V5 feels invincible and collapses on DMO in the mid lane, but Twilla says, "Not so fast, Robert Pattinson. We can still go even in a team fight with the Snake Lady and Mr. 200 Years. At the 27-minute mark, V5 begins to sputter and second-guess themselves. A fight breaks out in DMO's base, and Aphelios says, "Get out of my face!" He reminds V5 they came in last place last split for a reason. Is this the start of a comeback? Cass and Aphelios are finally coming online, and V5 starts sweating. Once again, V5 and the PP God push themselves up against Dominus's base, but Nautilus ain't having it, hooking Aatrox before Cassiopeia steps, flashes into the entire enemy team with her ultimate, and V5 must have liked what they saw, because while they were staring at the Snake Lady, Aphelios was popping off. Does anyone want to win this game? Now in the mid lane, Natural gets caught streaking through the jungle by Zoe and the Blind Monk, dying early in the fight, and setting up a 5v4. What? V5 may have fumbled the mid game, but they were undoubtedly rumbling, bumbling, stumbling towards their nexus, and they can go all the way. Do you believe in miracles? Yes! It's a victory! A victory for V5 in Game 1. Both teams playing fast and loose. Dominus's Renekton uses Dominus in a totally not confusing way, dominating Trundle in his own jungle and fearlessly taking on V5 3-on-1 before the reinforcements come and woo! Renekton heals himself up and secures the kill. What a play by the Gator, silencing the haters. DMO slows down the game when they get their gold lead, because after Game 1, they must think V5 stands no chance in the late game. Bilibili is stuck chucking shit at the wall and flinging poo because the Monkey King is no match for Natural's Renekton, who took 2 towers in the top lane and built up a 50 CS lead before the 20-minute mark. Dominus takes a 2,000 gold lead into the 20-minute mark and sets up for a fight around the next dragon. Mitsuki tries to do his best PP God impersonation, but comes up limp. After hooking Mole, MF blows her load and wastes bullet time, setting up an easy fight for Sam D. V5 takes the mid tower, the dragon, and the lead. With their newfound lead, V5 finds a few fights, leading up to the 31-minute mark, where Renekton and Syndra are looking to go balls deep in Callista, but Trundle and his phallic pillar won't let anyone touch Sam D. Sam, Mr. Big D, and the PP God himself are on fire in this late-game team fight, with Bard heat-checking himself, interrupting the bullet time and securing the series win for V5. Just a friendly reminder, if your PP God is on fire, please consult a doctor immediately. With 1 series in the books, V5 can consider this split a success, not because they've won a game, but because they've assembled the greatest team of names in history, with Fire My Laser Pew Pew, way back on! Mr. Mole, in the big dick bot lane. Sam hold my D, and the PP God. GG, V5. What a win. The second series of the day has OMG facing off against RNG in a battle between 2 teams who are expected to end up in the middle of the table. How will RNG play after the emotional retirement of Uzi? RNG will now turn to, oh my god, Becky, look at that butt. Can he fill the clip like Uzi and carry RNG to the promised land? OMG fights first at the 3-minute mark with a first blood on the TF, but Jarvan has vengeance on his mind. Headed to the mid lane where TF asks, "Shao, who do you think you are? Pick a card, any card." Just kidding, it's a gold card, so he falls. The attention instantly shifts to the bot lane, and J4 chain ganks with the assistance of his bot lane. Trundle and his nasty-ass pillar track down J4 in the jungle once again, who easily escapes. But SMLZ and Cold won't be as lucky, with Xiaohu ulting to the bot lane and asking, "Xiao, who do you think you are?" That will never get old, I promise. The newest Monkey King on the block, Nu, teleports in for a brilliant ultimate onto the backline, running up and securing several kills. Who knew that the new top laner named Nu had the Nu. That Nu for you. Nu for you. Aphelios woke up in the wrong millennia and keeps getting rocked by TF and J4. Xiao, who does he think he is anyways? Xiao, who do you think you are? Come on, Aphelios. Stop making me ask Xiao, who do you think you are? That's gonna get old. Just kidding, it never gets old. He wanders towards mid lane, and TF ults in, scream, "Xiao, who do you think you are?" If you think the Xiao bit is getting old, I've got some bad news for you, because at the 24-minute mark, RNG is back at it again, this time with a wombo combo. And the swinging menace asks Aphelios once again, "Who exactly do you think you are, my kind sir, because you keep dying the same way?" We have breaking news down at the bowling alley. A pen to claim it. And he got it!
God damn it, yes! God damn it, yes, that is right! I did it! Number 5, are you kidding me? That's right! Who do you think you are? I am! Damn it, right! His name is Betty, and his reign of terror has begun! RNG wins game 1! And Betty grabs the pentakill.
Game 2 begins in the bot lane. How do you spell dead? SMLZ. RNG picks up 2 kills and is off to a good start. Then in the top lane, RNG collapses on the substitute, who must be cursed. Xiaohu says, "Hello, I'm Xiaohu, and I've got balls," as he flings Syndra's ultimate into his leathery face. For the first time in 2 games, OMG shows some initiative and gets a kill in the bot lane. At the 18-minute mark, a fight breaks out in the jungle, and XLB is dominating, creating space for his teammates to take down 3 members of OMG before turning to Dragon. Mr. 200 Years must be demented because all his teammates are dead, and he quickly follows suit. Six minutes later, OMG is feeling desperate and looks to flank RNG around the dragon, but the Ram God rams his ultimate straight down OMG's throat, picking off Trundle. And after they secure the dragon, Xiaohu asks, "Xiao, who do you think you are?" flashing in and dying. But RNG still wins the exchange. The final push of the game begins with Trundle dying again. RNG breaches the base, and Sin kicks Aphelios in the face. OMG's base is in shambles, and even after a great Diana ult, RNG aces OMG and wins the series 2-0.
Hey, what's up everybody? So those games were pretty crazy yesterday. The V5 situation, if you were lucky enough to get on the V5, then you basically, I mean, they weren't even the lowest owned players. So Sam D was at 20%, Bu was at 18%, Mole 13%, the PP God 11.5% or 11.89%. So I mean, a surprising number of people were picking them. I thought it'd be lower, like the 10% range, but apparently they liked those pieces from that game more than the OMG side, because I think a lot of players just took Dominus and then fit in OMG as like the easier stack, and then it was like RNG plus some V5 or like V5 plus mostly V5 plus RNG and lineups like that. So I'm not going to get really deep into the weeds on the DraftKings stuff from last night. The betting, let me get out my sheet. We had, if you watched this and saw when I was talking about it at 215, I said that I liked V5 at 215 as a real life bet, not necessarily as a DraftKings play, because I'm trying to go more like all in on the teams that I actually think are going to win. But I mean, V5 at plus 215, that was an interesting bet at the very least. So I lost my pick on DMO, but then I won with RNG. I didn't make any real life bets because there's just not a ton of value out there. Like, I thought that OMG would win, or RNG would win. Maybe that's a bet that I should have made, 63%. Like, kind of hindsight is 20/20. But, you know, I just want more value for my money if I'm going to risk it in that way. So that's that. Let's get to tonight's games. So let me bring up the odds. All right, so 6-7 2020 LPL. We have World Elite against Sunning, -168. And then we have Sunning at 137. So a lot of the same lines are coming out. We're going to take a closer look at this. We have Bilibili Gaming. We have Vici Gaming. And we have Bilibili Gaming. Vici is at -161. And Bilibili is at 132. So let's bring up the rosters just to make sure we're not missing anything. So we have Bilibili, Vici, Team World Elite, and Sunning. So let's start with the first matchup. We have World Elite and Sunning. So in their first matchup, I liked Team World Elite over EDG. The first game they looked pretty bad, but games 2 and 3 they really played around Teacher Ma and his ability to go from lane to lane on like a global ultimate champion. They had Aphelios in the first 2 games. Not really a great champion right now for professional play, because I think teams are finally figuring out how to play around it. So even though Aphelios has like some of the best stats and abilities and strength overall, we've reached a point in the metagame where the innovation has made it pretty close for the other team. I think that we will probably see another level to this where Aphelios comes back even stronger and will require another nerf. It's just the team compositions have to be built correctly for Aphelios, and I'm not really sure if teams are ready to kind of go in that direction. I have some ideas about how to build Aphelios and build a team composition around him, but that's a secret. It's just the whole immobile AD carry thing. I think the meta is kind of taking that into consideration more instead of just thinking AD carries don't matter. So Morgan played okay. 3 games of Renekton. He's a good carry top laner. Whether or not he has amazing DraftKings scores, he's going to be good in real life. Then we have Beishang, who played relatively well. Teacher Ma, like I said, did a good job. Zhao Meng was one of the brighter spots for World Elite during that match because, like I said, it's difficult to play these immobile AD carries, and he did a relatively good job. There were a few moments where like he didn't flash when he had flash available, and the announcers were kind of killing him for that. But you have to think to yourself, if I flash, am I 100% going to live? Because in the next team fight, you're not going to have flash, and you'll be a sitting duck. So that's pretty tough. Set is a very good support right now because of immobile AD carries. So one of the things that teams who want to play Aphelios can do is pick away the set, give the other team the option to pick Aphelios, and if they don't, you can take Aphelios and have a good flex pick with Set. So Set's still a pretty good champion in this meta, still very important for the metagame. Then we have Sunning. So Sunning had the easier matchup in their first match against LNG. They weren't really tested very much, and I'm not very surprised because they're just not good. LNG is just not good. So now the question becomes, do we think that Sunning can beat Team World Elite? And my answer to you is yes. I think that there are a few reasons that you should want to roster Sunning tonight. First of all, from a playstyle perspective, I think that what Sunning is going to try to do is ban out Teacher Ma specifically. Just get rid of a couple of his favorite champions, get rid of the Aurelion Sol, get rid of Galio, get rid of Twisted Fate, get rid of Nocturne. Just get rid of a couple of these champions and then put him on something more traditional. And then that way you can kind of attack him in the early and mid game. He's not as good at those kinds of champions. He's still a professional caliber player, but he's just not as good as he is otherwise. Angel isn't really the kind of player who I think is going to exploit a matchup like that, but I think that as long as the games stay relatively close in the mid game, Sunning is going to have a few tricks up their sleeve for the team fights around these different objectives. Like I said, the front-to-back team fighting. When you have a team like World Elite who isn't afraid to fight in a losing position, I think that they're going to give up a ton of DraftKings points. So in this matchup tonight, I do like both sides for DraftKings. I think there's upside on both sides. In terms of a bet, we have Sunning at plus 137. My pick is Sunning. Do I want to make this bet? I would prefer if this was closer to like 150 or 160. I think that public perception on these two teams justifies a money line that's further apart. So I am a little surprised that it's this close. I'm right there. Like I do want this number to move before I put a real bet on it. But I am comfortable picking them for real life and for DraftKings because you're getting a little bit of extra value compared to World Elite. World Elite is a good team. They have been playing well, but they're not perfect. So even though they beat a team like EDG, who I thought was overrated to begin with, that does make World Elite look better. But I think Sunning can go toe-to-toe with them. So if the odds were like 45, 55 in real life, and I can get a line that's around an implied win rate of 35 to 37, and I get like 8 points of value, I think that I would take a bet on Sunning. So I'll be looking out for that. Maybe. I'll keep you guys posted. Then we have Contrarian. Vici Gaming against Bilibili Gaming. So let me just remember where we had these teams listed. So Vici Gaming is above Bilibili Gaming. But are they a 62% favorite over Bilibili Gaming? That's what we need to ask ourselves. Alright, so Billy Gaming. Kingen, best 16, Meteor. I'm not sure who's starting. Let's see if we can find the starting lineups real quick. I wish like Microsoft Excel had a dark feature. Oh, they do have a dark theme. Oh, I need to change that. Alright. Yeah, so I don't have the starting lineups yet. But that only really matters for the jungle. Billy Gaming against Vici Gaming. So we saw Meteor on Graves, so I guess I would prefer to see him. Jin Zhao moved from AD carry to support. A lot of players do that. The perception is that AD carry is a more mechanically intense position. So unless you're also a very intelligent player, going from AD carry to support isn't always the best idea. If you're building your lineups without the starting rosters, I would suggest taking top lane, mid lane, and the AD carry because they are the lower subs. They don't have subs to take them out. So those are the more solid pieces of the team. This early in the season, I really don't know if it makes much sense to sub players in and out. Personally, I don't like subbing players in and out, period. I think that it's like a horrible situation to put yourself in as a team, because then players are always wondering, like, am I going to get taken out if I don't play well? So that's not good. Vici Gaming. We have Cube in the top lane. Leon, Aikes, or Ikes, not sure how you pronounce that. Forge, Zika. You have iBoy in the bot lane. Hong and Maestro. So, I love Coma. I'm always looking to back Coma's teams, but I think that you really want them to be underdogs in a lot of these matchups because they can keep games surprisingly close. So I don't think I trust these players or the starting lineup. So we'll need to see what the starting lineups are before getting into specifics for DraftKings. Hopefully those come out soon. So from a real-life bet perspective, I think Vici Gaming should be the favorite. I think there is little to no value on this line. The game should probably be closer. It's probably 55-45. So the VIG is on this side, and this is about right. So you'd be getting like 2 points of value over here, and your like negative value over here. So I think that for a pick, I like Vici Gaming. Unless something crazy happens with the starting lineups, I will not bet this game. No value. And that's about it from a betting perspective and a first look DraftKings perspective. Let me see what the salaries are looking like. All right. So whatever, we'll just leave it. Okay, so let's take a look. World Elite is the most expensive team. That's not very surprising. Vici Gaming, second most expensive. Bilibili, and then Sunning. So we have World Elite, Vici, Sunning, and then Bilibili. World Elite, Vici, Sunning, 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 Bilibili. So every spot except for the team spot, Sunning is a little bit more expensive than Bilibili Gaming. I think that DraftKings anticipates Sunning getting a little bump in ownership because they won their last matchup, and I think that's pretty smart. There's probably also some like roster constraining they're trying to do with the salaries to make certain kinds of stacks not work. That wouldn't surprise me. So let's take a look in these matchups head to head. Morgan against Bin. I prefer Morgan. I think he's just a much better player than Bin, at least from what we've seen on stage. Beishang against SFM. I'm a pretty big Beishang fan at this point. I think that he is slightly better than SFM for DraftKings. Teacherma against Angel. I think Teacherma is a better DraftKings player in general than Angel. But I do like Sunning's chances to win tonight, so that's why I'm kind of caught in a rough position. I'll probably just have exposure to both. Zhao Meng against Huan Feng. I think Huan Feng is a better player and DraftKings option than Zhao Meng most of the time because like he's extremely correlated with his team's success. Huan Feng is probably more highly correlated with his team's success. But Zhao Meng probably puts up more points in losses than Huan Feng, I would guess. At least relative to his teammates. And then the bot lane we have Missing and Sword Art. I think Sword Art's a better player than Missing in general, and that's really where a lot of the winning chances for Sunning comes from, is the bot lane itself. That's one of the reasons why you may actually want to give away a global champion to the mid laner, because if you can put the global ultimate champion behind, then they're not able to win their lane and they're not able to help the side lanes. That's one strategy that a lot of teams use. Vici Gaming against Bilibili Gaming. Cube against Kingen. I really don't have much of an opinion one way or the other. Not impressed with Cube. Not impressed with Kingen. Aches, Leon, Meteor, and 13 Est 16. I think that's probably like best 16. But yeah, we don't know who's starting. I would assume it's Aches and Meteor. I don't have a huge lean either way. Forge and Zika against Fofo. I don't have a huge lean either way. iBoy against Wings. I don't have a huge lean either way. And then Hong against... It's probably Hong against Jin Zhao, because they are making that transition from AD carry to support. But again, not a huge advantage either side. So for salary constraint reasons, I could see some double underdog lineups being interesting tonight. I could see Sunning plus Bilibili Gaming, Sunning versus Vici Gaming, get some exposure to those different lineups. In terms of game stacks, I would actually be interested in game stacking World Elite versus Sunning, because I could see those games going like 25-20 or something, where Sunning just keeps the game very close. World Elite is continuously pressing, but then Sunning eventually takes over in the late game and manages to pull out a victory. Bilibili Gaming against Vici. I think both of those teams were not good for DraftKings scoring last split. So really, we need someone to 2-0 for them to be a primary stack. I think your primary stack is most likely coming from the first game, secondary stack from the second game. Obviously, if you want to do some one-offs, it's really more about position than anything else. So for every team, I think the best one-off spots are jungle, mid, and AD carry. And the reasoning is that in the early and mid game, even in a loss, you can have one of your players doing really well, and it's most likely going to come from one of those three players, because they're continuously trying to make stuff happen around the map. Top lane, there are only certain players who I would be comfortable one-offing, and Morgan is one of them. I think that Morgan is a very good top laner. He has that carry style, so if he gets ahead and can build up a lead for himself in the early game, transition it to some dragon fights, pick up like 3 or 4 kills, and then maybe he has a score line in like a win of 10 kills. I think he could get there to 10 kills. Otherwise, it would be like 4 or 5 kills because of a good job in the early game, and then in the late game he plays as more of a team fighter, more of a peeler for the carries, the other carries on the team, and we would have to hope for that 10 assist upside. So that's basically it. Favorite top laner for DraftKings would be Morgan. Favorite jungler would be Beishang. Favorite mid laner would probably be Teacher Ma. Favorite AD carry, probably Huan Feng. Favorite support, probably Sword Art. And those are all assuming their team wins the match. So that's the difficulty, because obviously they're playing against each other. It's going to come down to roster construction tonight, I guess. Not sure what lineups I'm playing or what contests I'm playing in. I'll need to do some more research on which contests look good tonight. Probably the 20 entry max, and maybe I'll take another shot at some tickets. But it's getting to the point where like I've lost like 2 or 3 tickets by a combined 2 points, and that's just annoying. So not sure how much money I want to throw at those tickets. I might just buy a couple tickets or entries when the tournament comes closer. So that's it for today. Thanks for watching. If you enjoy ESPORTSCENTER, About Last Night, Almost Perfect Lineup, all those things, please like, share, comment, subscribe. Retweeting is very helpful. If you want to throw this up on Reddit, that would be extremely helpful. I think the Esports Center thing is very fun, and a lot of people would enjoy it if they're not able to watch the full LPL split. And it's not just like the regular announcing. It's like just trying to have some fun. So, yeah. Thanks again, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.
So who do you think you are?
No, you don't need the.
Legend. He a 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 legend.
Fucking on it though. Then
He
you
a
can't fuck it
legend.
up later.
Welcome to the league, to the league, to the league, to the league, to the league of Iron. Welcome to the league, to the league, to the league, to the league, to the league of Iron.
Pike on money, pike on money, pike on money. We making pike on money. Payday, about to throw a rack on China. Need some DFS advice, where can I find some? League of Items got the sheet with all the lineups and all the stacks that you need to get to diamond. League of Items!
Getting gold, that's the goal.